Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. I'm really sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. Life has just been 100 miles an hour even though we're in lockdown. Just been stuck doing sort of boring adult life things such as painting this room, doing DIY around the house, and I just hadn't had the time to sort of plan or film anything. But I've got a video planned for today. It's going to be about sort of my best buys of 2020, sort of from my personal purchases. So what I've bought sort of at the start of 2020 before the recent increase in prices, and sort of how much they've increased and the prices of them now, sort of the items I've purchased that have gained almost the most in value since the start of the year. First thing though is I just want to say I hope you're okay, I hope you're safe, hope you and your family are well. There's a lot going on and sometimes we do have bad days, we don't feel the best, and I just think it's important to remind people that it's fine not to feel okay. Like, you need to be kind to yourself and understand, you know, I don't feel my best today, but that's okay, and sort of just not beat yourself up for it, because I think that's a very common thing people do, and you just got to remember that look after yourself, and tomorrow's another day. Chances are just sort of take a step back, chill out, and when you wake up the next day, you'll probably feel a lot better. So hope you're safe, hope your family's safe, and I hope you're feeling as positive as you can. So let's get started with the video. So first things first is I purchased this card here. We've got WotC, we've got Charizard, first edition, and a high PSA grade. It's a good recipe that. It's never one to shy away from. But essentially I bought this card knowing sort of I have the booster box sort of behind. I didn't have any graded Gym Challenge cards at the time, so I thought, do you know what would be really cool is get the chase card from the booster box. It also helps sort of remove any temptation that would have still been there slightly to open the box. You know, I probably wouldn't have opened the box anyway, but it just decreases that, you know, who cares? There could be a Charizard in there, but I've got one here. So, you know, let's just not open that ever, especially now. What actually happened was I ended up just sort of buying the 10 as well. Within a few days of purchasing the 9, I ended up buying the 10 on eBay. Just thought, you know what? If I don't do it now, I won't do it. So get it while I can. Turned out quite well, because chances are I probably wouldn't buy this now, just because of the prices. So I'm glad I did get it when I could. The 9 I paid $4.50 for. I actually was hoping to spend $400. Couldn't find anyone willing to part with a card for that price. So $4.50 was the price I could get it for, and I just secured the card. Sometimes you just got to pay that little bit extra if you really want it, and I did, and you know, it's done well. So the 10 was actually just about double the price of the 9. I paid sort of £1,050 for the 10 at the time, so it's kind of why I went for it. I thought, you know what, it's double the 9, but once you've got the 10, you've got the 10, and you know, especially for the chase card, in terms of displaying it with a booster box, it looks really cool. You've got the best card in that box in the best grade, so it's just really nice to have on display with the box. And again, like I said, just removes that tiny bit of temptation that may have still been there to open boxes. Obviously there still could be another 10 in there, but at the same time I've already got one, so it definitely helps in terms of that. That was my idea of purchasing them. I didn't, you know, as I said, I had no Gym Challenge PSA graded cards, so that's why I grabbed those guys. So prices, $4.50 when I bought it towards the start of the year. You're looking at sort of $1,200 to $1,500 and above now. So in terms of the prices, I don't keep up to date on every card and every card I own in terms of how much they're worth. I only really sort of have accurate prices on cards that I'm currently trying to buy or I'm currently trying to sell. Just takes up so much time if you were to go through all your cards and constantly look at solds. So these prices are sort of a rough estimate based on current sold and sort of listings at the moment. So yeah, that's pretty much tripled in price. The 10, as I said, £1,050 I purchased it for. It's now worth about £3,000 to £3,500. Again, we've got a triple in value. So, you know, what I paid for the 9, you know, when I bought it at £450, the 9 is now worth what the 10 was back then. You know, well, even more, you know, 12 to 1500 could have got you 10 easily back then. So it's crazy to think that literally in a few months, the price of a 9 is now what 10 used to be, which, yeah, is mad. But, you know, these were some of the cards that had the biggest increases during the recent times, simply because, you know, as I said, the first edition, the WotC, the Charizard cards, they just went through the roof. So they were two of the biggest purchases that went up in value for me. When I bought the 10, the guy selling actually had a few. So he sold one before I bought it for sort of 900, 950, listed this one. I got it for just over 1,000. As soon as that sold, he listed another one for sort of 1,200. I reached out to him and just sort of had a chat, and he said, yeah, I had a few, just getting rid of them now. Obviously, unfortunately for him, you know, had he held a bit longer, they would have been worth so much more. We did all kind of think the market was going to decline around this time, though. You know, this was beginning COVID. We hadn't, you know, really had any sort of effect to our country, but we were aware, like, it was in China and stuff at the time. So for him, in his head, and, you know, for me, like that, you would think that would have been a good time to sell, because we were all expecting a slight decline. Obviously it didn't happen, but it's kind of is what it is. No one knows the future. We can all speculate and predict as much as we can, but we literally do not know what's going to happen. Next purchase was Shining Charizard. We've got, again, WotC, Charizard, high PSA grade. We don't have the first edition stamp. So originally I wanted to buy this card in a PSA 9 first edition. The 10 first edition was kind of just too expensive at the time, even back then. I missed the 9 by about 2 minutes. So I had a seller that was I was back and forth with making offers. They sent me one that I was kind of happy with. I was just waiting for some funds to clear on something I sold. Literally came back as soon as I got that money to buy it, and it was listed as sold. I was like, oh my God, no way. Messaged him, and yeah, he'd sold it 2 minutes before that. Someone hit buy it now. I think it was for like £1,100, £1,200. So yeah, I missed that, and then literally from that moment onwards, it just started increasing. So I completely missed that opportunity. My fault for not accepting the offer and then paying, but I kind of didn't know when those funds were going to come through, so I don't want to accept and then not pay for a little while. But that is what it is. Like, you know, that's, you know, people lose auctions. I've lost auctions all the time. These things happen, and it's just the nature of the hobby. So you just got to take it on the chin. I bought this card with a load of sealed WotC boosters, so it came in like a big bundle, but I roughly paid sort of £800 to £900 for this card at the time. I'd say it was quite it was under market value just about. These were going for about £1,000, so got a good deal, but it was because I bought like a bundle of other things with it. But again, this card now, let's just pop him over me. This card now is worth what, sort of anything above, you know, £2.5 grand. So again, we're talking about a 2.5 increase. But we had all those, you know, those popular staple things, WotC, Charizard, high grade. You know, they're always popular, and when prices go up, as you can tell, they went up crazy for these cards. Again, I bought these thinking the market might have a slight decline at the time, but it didn't, as we know. So on the talk of sort of gym cards, I thought I'd switch it up and talk a little bit about some modern products as well. I was sort of having a chat with some guys the other day, and I just thought, you know, imagine if they sort of re-released a similar set to gym where they have trainers, or, well, sorry, gym leaders and Pokemon. So gym's never been done in the way that it has. You know, there's not Blaine's Charizard, obviously. You've got Shining Charizard, which has come out in Hidden Fates, but we don't have like any of these cards like we did from gym sets. But I do remember a set. I remember Cosmic Eclipse, a recent set from last year, that I really enjoyed. Like, the artwork was incredible. I personally think it's slightly underrated, and it's sort of, you know, you've got Unbroken Bonds, you've got Burning Shadows, you've got Evolutions, you've got all these sets that have Charizard in, and seem very popular, but I feel like Cosmic Eclipse is left behind a little bit, especially with Hidden Fates as well. Obviously that's a massive set that's extremely popular, but Cosmic Eclipse has a Charizard in it, it has Blastoise in it, has Venusaur in it, has the 3 starters like as big cards. On top of that, it has incredible artwork, and it's the biggest set that they've produced so far. So looking through the cards that I've got from the set, I bought a booster box when it came out. It came out around my birthday, I think, last year, or it might have been the year before. I have to check. But yeah, I bought a booster box, opened it, loved it. There was some amazing cards. I'm just going to show you some cards in this set. And then, you know, let you have a think about, imagine if they did a gym styled set. So like, not like a reprint or anything, but just use that concept of like Blaine's Charizard and then produced it in a modern set. So if we have a little look at these cards, we've got Pokemon, and we've got, you know, we've got trainers, we've got gym leaders, and they are stunning. Like, I literally love these cards. They haven't been done in this way before, and even after this set, like, you know, these cards, they're almost like a one-off. But personally, I just think they look incredible. And just imagine if they did a set now and you've got like Lieutenant Surge's Magnemite, and they, you know, comes out like this. Like, it would be incredible. I would love that. I'd be all over that, because I just loved Cosmic Eclipse for the trainer cards that they made. That red and Pikachu is unreal. Like, I was so happy that I pulled that. But yeah, I'd love to see sort of a gym style modern set done like this. You know, what do you guys think? If that's something you like, just let me know in the comments. Or if you've got any other ideas, chuck them in. But another thing I just want to finish on is, these obviously had a great increase, right? 2.5 to 3 times and above in terms of prices in literally like 3 to 4 months. Obviously that is insane. But you haven't actually sort of gained any money, because if you're looking at it from like an investor's point of view, yeah, I've paid for these cards. Yes, they are worth more at the moment. I haven't sold any, so my money's still in the cards. Exactly what I've paid for these cards is how much money I'm down, if you wanted to think of it from that point of view. It's easy to think, oh, you know, my collection's worth this much, I've made this much money. You haven't made anything. You've lost the money you bought these items for, and you haven't actually gained anything at all unless you sell them. Personally, the collector in me, these won't be sold. Like, I know if I sell that 10, I'm not getting it back. Like, it's too expensive now. Even now, like, if I sold that, I'm probably not going to then spend $3.5 grand on it again, simply because that's a lot of money. Like, I don't think I'd be able to do that right now. And again, because they're 10s, they're quite hard to come by. Like, there's one of these for sale in the UK on eBay at the moment. I think there's one of these for sale as well. So if someone buys that, then there's none available currently. So they can be hard to come by. And again, they're up for sale, but they're up for about $5 grand. You know, make offers is probably on it, but again, just because it's on there and it's priced high, that person might just be like, I'm going to put it on there and wait for it to sell, whether that's, you know, 1 month, 6 months, a year's time. I'm going to put it up for $6 grand and just leave it. People do that. So just because it's there doesn't mean you can purchase it, because you might have to pay double the market rate. So it's easy to forget that. I might sell the 9, you know, in years to come, but it would probably only be the case of like if I needed that money for something else, which I probably won't. But if I was going to sell any, I'm obviously going to sell the 9. I can't see myself selling the 10s. As I said, simply wouldn't be able to get them back. And the collector in me just wants to keep them. Like, I buy this because I want it. I want to collect it. I want to keep it. I want to keep it, display it, you know, put it on Instagram, share it. I don't want to just sell everything to make a profit, because then I have no cards, have no, you know, boosters, I have no boxes, and I bought them because I wanted them. So yeah, it's easy to get caught up thinking you've made this money, because you haven't actually made it unless you sell it. And as with many collectors, they generally don't have any intention in selling. I will probably only sell sort of like 10% of what I've collected. You know, even if the prices went to like an insane price, I could only imagine sort of selling 10% of what I've got. You know, the cards that, for example, the 9, like if these were just crazy, insane sort of amounts of money, you know, maybe I'd sell the 9 if it could financially change my situation. But otherwise, unless, you know, there's an emergency, there's no way I'd sell the 10s unless there was an actual emergency financially. The 10s will stay in my collection, and they, you know, a lot of collectors are like that. And I guess that's why they cost what they cost, because half of, you know, maybe half, maybe 3/4, I don't know how many people are like that, but the collectors who own these put them away and keep them forever. So those populations, there might be 100 of a particular card, doesn't mean there's 100 available, and there will be 100 available at some point. 50 of those cards could be locked away forever with a collector. You know, you just don't know. That there are those unknowns. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've been rambling on for quite a while. If there's anything you want me to cover in terms of videos, maybe like a Q&A, or just seeing more of things I own, or just anything in general, Pokemon wise, if you want me to cover it, drop it in the comments, share some ideas with me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I can provide you with a little bit of entertainment during sort of lockdown, and I'll see you next time, guys. Take care.